Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, those tuning in through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music, we're glad you all could be with us as well. When I say the name Mike Rowe, of course, we all know him from his popular show, Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. He also, of course, has the podcast, The Way I Heard It, but he's an individual who also uses his platform to be able to give back as well. He has a foundation called the Mike Rowe Works Foundation. We're going to talk to him today not only about what it's been like for him to have the success he has, but also to be able to introduce us, I think, to jobs and appreciation for individuals who do certain jobs that maybe we didn't have before, and the work that his foundation is doing that all of us can help to support as well. Mike, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Anytime, Cyrus. I appreciate it.
So, Mike, this is a real honor to be able to speak with you. Of course, you know you have fans literally around the world, because we do know you, of course, primarily from the show Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. What has that been like for you, Mike, to be able to become known for taking us into jobs that a lot of us didn't even realize or appreciate their impact?
Well, it's been very strange, and it's been wonderful. It wasn't part of the plan. I was 42 back in 2002, and I'd been working in TV for a long time. And Dirty Jobs was just a short tribute to my granddad, who was a guy who could build a house without a blueprint, a skilled tradesman who only went to the 7th grade but was nevertheless immensely talented. Anyhow, the show went on the air. We got 10,000 letters from people who were saying, wow, if you think that was dirty, wait till you meet my granddad, my brother, my cousin, my sister, my mom, whatever. And that's how it started. And ever since then, it's been on the air literally every day for 20 years. So I kind of Forrest Gumped my way into that, and the doors that have opened as a result have been myriad, and I've walked through a lot of them. And one of them was an opportunity to run a foundation that tried to shine a light on many of the jobs that we featured on that show. So it's been gratifying in the sense that things have gone full circle, and it's always great to work on something that people like and at the same time feels worthwhile, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Cyrus, I've been, like I said, TV is not it's not the industry you get in to do something that makes you, that validates whatever higher purpose you think you might have. So I got good cards, and I got lucky.
Yeah. Well, I think, but with that, the good cards, Mike, I think people would look at you and say, but you also have been so passionate about this, because there's no way you could be able to do this if you were not passionate about it. And sharing these stories, because that's the reason why I love Dirty Jobs. Yes, of course, we're able to take this journey with you on these different jobs, but it's the stories you're able to share of these people that I think is so impactful. You also share stories with your podcast, The Way I Heard It. Talk to us about that, because the world definitely has evolved in the way we're getting information. Podcasts are so popular these days, as we are also utilizing that platform even outside of radio. What has that been like for you to even build a larger audience, Mike, that way, of people who've gotten to know you, yes, but now are interested in what you have to say about the things of the day?
Well, nobody wants a lecture, nobody wants a sermon, but people are curious, and I think there's been a certain fatigue maybe with celebrities and a certain weariness that's set in with the predictability that so often informs the formats that you see on TV and in podcasting as well. So all I've tried to do over the last 20 years is stay true to the model that launched Dirty Jobs, which was no second takes, be genuinely curious, look for the humor, if there is any, to find, and if there is a joke, just remember it's probably on you. And that's kept most of these endeavors on their feet. The podcast is no different. It's conversations with people that I think you should know, who have done something that I found either inspirational or curious or just funny, mostly. like the people we featured on Dirty Jobs, they're not really anonymous. They're just not famous. So I talked to retired Green Berets who were instrumental in helping get loyal Afghans out of Afghanistan during the withdrawal. Currently, there's a podcast up with a coach named Bill Courtney who stepped in to coach a really hard-luck football team at a high school in Memphis. And his efforts there turned into a documentary, and he won an Academy Award for it. And so the world's full of people who have done, I think, notable things. And so to sit down and have a beer with them and an honest conversation is a consummation devoutly to be wished, as the bard would have put it.
I would be remiss, Mike, if I didn't mention my, of course, loving doing this show, but also I'm a nerd by nature. So, of course, I also have read your book by the name of the podcast, the way I heard it. At the time we're having this conversation, it is literally, even though it came out in 2021, it literally is a top 25 right now bestseller in history books, in history humor. I bring that up because I think that's the different things about the way you've been able to impact people through television, through podcasts, of course, through audio that way, and now the written word. I mean, your being an author, was that just a natural progression, or is it something that came out of the work you were doing?
That was actually the hardest thing to do for me because it's the thing I enjoy the most, and I didn't want to screw up my hobby. I like to write. You know, I've always written because it's one of those activities that, for me anyway, compresses time. You know, I can't tell you how many times I sat down to write a story on the tarmac of SFO and looked up a couple minutes later to see I'm on the tarmac at IAD or LaGuardia. The podcast originally was a collection of short stories that were written in the style of Paul Harvey, his old, show called The Rest of the Story. I loved that growing up. So, yeah, the book you're talking about was a collection of some of those stories interspersed with a memoir, and I didn't want to write a memoir because it just seemed so vainglorious, and I didn't really want to commit to writing a book. Because, like I said, it was a hobby. It was a thing I just loved to do for the fun of it. But in the end, it turned out to be another way to do the same sort of thing, to tell a story that isn't a lecture or a sermon. And I think that, if the publishing world will still have me, yeah, I'll do another one and hopefully another one after that. But in the end, Cyrus, it's a strange and wonderful time to navigate because the podcast space is real and the publishing space is real and the TV space is real and the speaking space is real and radio is still real, and there's a lot of ways to tell the stories, and cracking the code is a fun challenge.
Such a great thing, and you do it so well, Mike, and we're so glad to share that, and especially in the way you're giving back with the foundation as well, with Mike Rowe Works Foundation. Everyone, Mike Rowe has been our guest. If you guys are not staying connected with him and the work of the foundation, you guys can go to MikeRoweWorks.org. That's MikeRoweWorks.org. We'll link that up for you guys on the podcast side, but also you can stay connected with everything with the podcast that Mike is doing at MikeRowe.com as well. Mike, congratulations to you on your continued success, and definitely would love to speak with you again.
Anytime, Cyrus. Your listeners should know we're giving away $1 million in work ethic scholarships right now. We've been doing it for 15 years, and the opportunities are real in the skilled trades, and I'm delighted to tell those stories as well.
Yeah, so definitely you guys go over there to MikeRoweWorks.org so you guys can find out more information about that. Mike, appreciate you so much. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.